Hi, and welcome to our video series on the Indian Constitution. This is a very interesting lesson, so stay tuned. What do you think is a country's constitution? When you sit for the exams, you are supposed to follow certain rules. Be silent, carry pens and pencils, be on time, etc. This is done primarily so that all of you can go through the evaluation process smoothly. Similarly, for the proper functioning of the society, certain rules are levied which should be followed by all. Such rules, when laid down and documented through written consensus, becomes the constitution for the society or country. Thus, the constitution is the supreme law of the country. It states the fundamental duties and procedures, powers, the political code and structure of the government's institutions, and also sets out the fundamental rights, duties, and directive principles of the citizens of the country. But why does a country need a constitution? The constitution states a few ideals that essentially form the foundation of the type of country or society that we people seek to live in. In short, the constitution lays a set of rules for the citizens, by the citizens, defines the way they want their country to be governed. Secondly, Constitution explains the nature of the political system of a country along with guidelines that govern decision making. For instance, the Constitution of Nepal, which was adopted in 1990, announced that the country was to be ruled by the king and his ministers. However, a people's movement in Nepal successfully established democracy by putting an end to the powers of the king in the year 2006. The constitution had to be rewritten in Nepal. Thirdly, in any democratic country, constitution sets out rules to protect the right of citizens and their freedom. I just mentioned the word democratic. Do you know what democracy is? Democracy is a system of government where the citizens of a country exercise power through their right to vote. The constitution ensures that minorities are not dominated by the majorities in the society. Let us have a look at the Indian Constitution. The very first part of the Indian Constitution is the preamble, which highlights the main objectives of the Indian Constitution. It is often called the soul of the Indian Constitution. The Constitution states the way in which the government will be set up in India and the different rules that it needs to follow. Did you know that the Indian Constitution is one of the lengthiest constitutions of the world? It comprises of 395 articles, 22 parts, and 12 schedules. While framing the Constitution of India, members of the Constituent Assembly had to keep certain factors in mind, including the diversity, unity, and socio-economic conditions of the people of the country. The Constituent Assembly was a group of 300 people which was set up in 1946. This group took 3 years to write the Constitution of India. Can you name the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution? Yes, you guessed it right. It was Baba Saheb Ambedkar, who was popularly known as the father of the Indian Constitution. Now, let us understand certain key features of the Indian Constitution. The Constitution begins with an introduction called preamble. This is the introduction to the Constitution. Some of the key points emphasized in the Indian Constitution are federalism. This is all about more than one level of government in the country. Federalism is the existence of the central or federal government along with the regional governments, including the state, territorial, provincial and local bodies under one political system. In India, we have a government at the center. Moreover, all the states have their own separate setups. The division goes down till the village level where the panchayats form the last tier. Why is the system necessary? Think about your house. You can decide what sweets you will buy with your pocket money. But if the house needs to be painted, it's your parents who decide the color and the cost, right? Similarly, for a country, there are issues which are of national importance. For example, a new network of roads connecting 4 corners of a country was planned. Since this involved many parts of the country, the union government was in charge. However, imagine a part of a road which needs to be repaired. Who do you think decides on this? You are right. The local municipality or the panchayat decides on this. The constitution has lists of action areas on which specific levels the government can make laws on. While the states have autonomy on making laws on the areas mentioned in the state list, they are bound to follow the laws made by the central government on areas covered in the union list. The concurrent list covers topics common to both. Along with their jurisdictions, the Constitution also mentions where the 3 tiers of the government are going to get their funds from. With this, we come to the end of the first part of our lesson on the Indian Constitution. See you soon for the next part. Till then, goodbye.